Hello and welcome to RPG PhD. I'm Dr. Ben, and today we delve into a gripping tale of swords, spells, and strategic showdowns. Our protagonist, the Game Master, faces a formidable challenge as they grapple with a player whose heart beats for the thrill of combat. Will they find a way to balance epic battles with storytelling finesse? Let's roll the dice and find out. The realm of Eldoria was a realm of wonders and mysteries, where heroes and villains etched their destinies. As the Game Master set the stage, a group of adventurers gathered in the bustling city of Valeria. Among them was a character named Victor, a seasoned warrior with a reputation for strategic brilliance and a passion for combat that burned brighter than the midday sun. The adventure kicked off with a simple tavern brawl, a minor squabble that Victor quickly escalated into a full-blown combat encounter. His excitement for the fight was infectious, and the group found themselves caught up in the exhilaration of battle. Victor's combat enthusiasm did lead to an awesome and thrilling first game encounter, but the party's excitement was not to last. In tabletop role-playing games, various playstyles emerge, each reflecting a unique approach to gameplay and storytelling. The Wargamer playstyle is typically focused on tactical combat, strategic planning, and an immersive engagement with the game's combat mechanics. This playstyle draws inspiration from traditional wargaming, where players emphasize strategy and battle simulations. While the Wargamer approach has its merits, it also presents challenges for both players and game masters, shaping the gaming experience in distinctive ways. Some of the positives of this style include tactical depth, combat scenarios that require intricate positioning, resource management, and teamwork. Wargamer's dedication to mastering the rules and mechanics often leads to thrilling tactical encounters that showcase the depth of the game system. This playstyle encourages players to think strategically, planning ahead for battles, and considering multiple potential outcomes. Wargamers often possess a strong sense of agency over their characters' abilities and destinies. They revel in creating characters optimized for combat and enjoy the satisfaction of overcoming challenges through force. As the party ventured deeper into the forest, they came across a narrow path flanked by dense foliage. Suddenly, a group of goblins approached them, their rusty weapons glinting in the dappled sunlight. While some players saw an opportunity for negotiation or even creative solutions, Victor immediately drew his weapon and charged at the goblins without hesitation. Victor's rapid response caught the rest of the party off guard. The rogue, who had been preparing to sneak behind the goblins for a strategic advantage, found himself exposed and unable to coordinate with Victor's impulsive assault. The druid, hoping to use her shape-shifting abilities to create a diversion, felt marginalized as Victor's charge triggered combat before her plan could unfold. The encounter quickly devolved into a chaotic melee, with the party members scattered and struggling to adapt to the situation. Despite their victory, the frustration among the players was palpable. The rogue's strategic approach had been undermined, and the druid's opportunity for creative problem-solving had been curtailed by Victor's combat-focused decision. The Wargamer's focus on combat can sometimes lead to an imbalance within the group, overshadowing non-combat characters and interactions. This imbalance can diminish the overall storytelling experience and create frustration for other players. Intense tactical planning can slow down gameplay, affecting the pacing of sessions. Extended combat encounters, or making every encounter about combat, might hinder the progression of the story, leaving little room for role-playing, exploration, and character development. An overemphasis on mechanics and combat strategies can sideline narrative depth and character exploration. Characters might become mere tools for battle, losing the nuances and complexities that make them compelling protagonists. As the party delved deeper into their quest, the tension caused by Victor's relentless combat-driven approach began to strain their camaraderie. The GM, determined to restore the balance of storytelling and action, devised an elaborate encounter involving a band of enigmatic forest dwellers. This encounter was meant to force the characters to engage in dialogue, unravel secrets, and develop relationships. However, Victor's wargamer tendency took precedence once again. The forest dwellers approached the group peacefully, willing to share crucial information that could reshape the course of the adventure. The GM anticipated character interactions that would lead to alliances, intricate negotiations, and shared laughter. Yet, Victor's character interpreted the forest dwellers' approach as a challenge, launching into combat without hesitation. Once the combat ensued, the player role-playing Victor often second-guessed every other party member's tactical decisions, telling them what to do and how to do it, spending an inordinate amount of time trying to coerce the other players into playing out the strategy that they wanted. The ensuing melee disrupted the opportunity for dialogue, leaving the other players frustrated and stifled. Frustrated by the continuous combat-focused approach, the GM decided to try another tactic. During an important story moment, the party encountered a sage who held the key to solving a perplexing riddle. The GM believed that engaging with the sage's wisdom could guide the characters towards a deeper understanding of the quest. Unfortunately, Victor's combat focus prevailed yet again. As the sage began to share cryptic insights, Victor's character grew restless. Instead of listening, he demanded immediate answers and pressed the sage into combat. The resulting conflict squandered a pivotal opportunity for character growth and narrative development. The rest of the party, including roleplay enthusiasts, were disheartened by Victor's action. The Game Master contemplated having the local authorities step in to remove the party, but reasoned it would only cause yet another combat encounter. The GM's attempts to steer the narrative away from constant combat had failed twice. The party's dynamic was becoming increasingly strained, with the Wargamer approach at odds with the more immersive storytelling experiences desired by the other players. The GM knew that other measures were required to save the adventure from collapsing under the weight of Victor's unyielding playstyle. The presence of wargamers at the table influences the GM's role in several ways. The first is combat design. The GM needs to craft challenging yet balanced combat encounters to engage wargamers. This involves considering terrain, tactics, and enemy diversity to keep battles engaging without overshadowing other elements of the game. The next is story integration. GMs should find creative ways to weave character-driven narratives into combat-heavy situations. This ensures that the wargamer's strengths are celebrated while allowing room for character development and role-playing interaction. Finally, managing expectations. Addressing the preferences of both wargamers and other players requires open communication. Additionally, encouraging wargamers to explore their characters' motivations and backstories beyond combat can lead to a more holistic role-playing experience. Setting expectations about the balance between combat and role-playing ensures everyone's enjoyment and investment in the game. In a hidden chamber beneath an ancient temple, the party encountered an intricate puzzle designed to unlock the passage to a deeper level. The puzzle involved arranging enchanted gemstones into a specific sequence to reveal a hidden door. As the party examined the puzzle, the GM hinted at the possibility of using their characters' skills and backgrounds to decipher the solution. While some players brainstormed creative interpretations and discussed possible connections to their characters' backstories, Victor grew increasingly impatient. He declared that he wanted to smash the gemstones with his weapon to force the door open. The other players protested, urging him to consider alternative approaches that would preserve the enchanted stones and potentially reveal important information. Victor's insistence on a brute force solution exasperated the party. The sorcerer, who had been excited to use their knowledge of arcane symbols to decipher the puzzle, felt overshadowed by Victor's impulsive behavior. The bard, who had been eager to apply their proficiency in history to recognize any cultural or historical significance of the gemstones, found their contributions dismissed. The tension within the group escalated as the players' wargamer playstyle clashed with the other players' desire for more nuanced problem solving. The encounter became a microcosm of the overarching conflict, highlighting the frustration caused by the players' combat-centric approach and the missed opportunities for collaborative engagement. Victor was driving the story towards a relentless series of battles, leaving character development and storytelling elements in the dust. The other players, their characters' nuances and desires left unexplored, grew increasingly disenchanted. The GM sensed the almost overt hostility and knew that something had to change before the adventure lost its heart and soul. Recognizing the limitations of several in-game attempts, the GM decided to address the issue directly with the player. After a game, the GM initiated a candid and private conversation about playstyles and player expectations. The GM acknowledged the player's enthusiasm for combat and the other player's desire for a more balanced experience. The GM shared insights from the discussion about various playstyles and the importance of accommodating everyone's preferences. The player, playing Victor, listened and seemed somewhat receptive to the idea of incorporating a broader range of strategies into his approach. However, as the conversation ended, the question lingered. Did the player truly realize how their playstyle had impacted others? Do you think they would be willing to compromise? Do you think the Game Master was partly to blame for not intervening sooner or in a different way? And if you were the Game Master, what would you do? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video on the Wargamer playstyle. If you found this video useful, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. It's much appreciated. Thanks for watching. See you next time.